right, and welcome to a special edition of the Lynn Lowdown, and we are here at Lynn Tech with the Food Project. I'm here with Anika Whitmore, and they got some stuff going on back there. It's a little dark, you guys can't really see it, but there's a farm behind us right now. Anika, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So you guys got this off. What was it, last month, correct? You got this off last month. Just talk to me about this project that you had the students doing, and just everything that took for this to occur.
Yeah, so we first started out with a partnership with Lynn Tech, and with that came about the idea of creating a community garden space where we're able to grow more food for the community members as well as more culturally appropriate food. And so this past fall, with our Sprout crew, we were able to have folks come in and work in person. We followed certain protocols. And we were able to kind of set down this foundation for this new spot. And we set down like 100 tons of gravel under all of this dirt. And then there's more wood chips, and then you can see all of the beds that we hope to be able to grow and use as learning space
And
as
all
well.
total, how many beds are there in this one?
I can't tell you the exact number, but most of the idea is there's going to be some learning spaces as well as community gardens, and then these raised beds for folks that might not be able to reach all the way to the ground, but making sure that everybody can get it.
And this was in partnership with Lynn Tech. Can you talk about the relationship the Food Project and Lynn Tech has had throughout the last several years?
Yeah, so we hire about 120 youth every year in both our greater Boston and North Shore region. And so we have a bunch of students from Tech that do participate in our summer working programs as well as the academic year. And so the relationship over the years has grown through those relationships. And then we have a new principal that is interested in horticulture. And so we wanted to be able to have that here as another learning space.
And why was it so important that the weather's kind of dropping? So why is it important that you guys had gotten this out the way before the weather starts to drop? Because nobody's going to be out here farming in the winter when it's cold outside. So it's all about the importance of just being able to get it done before the cold weather comes.
Absolutely. And I think just because of COVID and all of these things that were up in the air, this fall we really had the capacity, and then we had young people able to work with us. And so we had a lot of hands and the ability was there. And so we were able to just kind of knock this out, and everything is raised so you can kind of see because of the ground. In the cities there's a lot of contamination, and so we just wanted to make sure that everything was as high off of the ground as possible.
So clearly COVID has had an impact on a lot of the stuff you guys did. So can you talk about how the social distance in the COVID, how it took place when you guys were building these beds?
Yeah, so we had, with the relationships with a bunch of other food distribution places and other organizations, we followed certain sets of protocols and making sure that, everyone was masked, everyone was practicing social distancing. But we also didn't hire any youth over the summer to work on the farms in person. And so we had really, really small teams. And even some of the staff members that aren't usually on the farms transition to full-time farm staff as well. So it was very small groups of people working in this space. I want to say there was 3 people that were mainly in charge of this space over the fall.
Gotcha. Now, with the spring coming, well, it's not coming up, but you know what I mean. We're hoping for spring soon, but when the spring rolls around and the weather starts to get a little nicer, how's it gonna look when you have, how's it gonna look? Because we'll probably still be in this quarantine. So how's it gonna look? Is it gonna be more of the same? Are you gonna have more students, or
we hopefully will have our students return in the spring. And there's still a lot of planning that's going around. I think because of COVID, we had to delay this project to this past fall rather than the spring. And so the thinking has been pushed up a little bit. But hopefully as the spring comes around, we can start signing people up for community garden space. So folks that have wanted to have farming space but don't have access to that, they'll hopefully get their space there. And then after they start growing things into the greenhouse, they'll be able to transfer that stuff over here in the summer.
Okay, gotcha. Now, as we move forward with, it's just a lot happening in the world. Just you guys do so much, and we've seen the changes in the community and it's affected the food project in some of the farms. I know there's one right down the street, the condos, that's the building that's being built over there, took away the farm that was over there. Can you just talk about how you guys were able just to find another location for a new farm with having some of your other locations being taken away?
Yeah, so a lot of times, especially with urban farming, space isn't as abundant as we want it to be. And so a lot of the space that we use is either owned by the city or it's privately owned. And so that was one of those situations. And then it's also just like communicating with community members. It's community members coming to you with information and being like, hey, we could have a farm here, we could have a community garden space here. And then that's how we kind of go along with that. And we have Lynn Grows, which is a coalition of community members who come together with those questions and with those ideas, and it's a space for them to kind of accumulate all those ideas with the perspective of community members. And then us as the food project are able to follow those guidelines and see what is wanted or what is being asked of us and anybody else. And so.
Gotcha. Now, so I also understand did you guys receive the grant as well? Did you guys receive a grant for this project?
We did. I do not have all the information about that, but we did.
Okay, and is there future grants that you guys are hoping to receive? As we approach here 2021, are there some other things that you guys are currently working on to prepare for the future?
Yeah, so our development team and our communications team work really, really hard in making sure that they get all of the information out there as to what we do, so we're able to get those grants and that funding, because that, as a nonprofit, we rely heavily on those donations and funding. And so they're consistently working and finding new avenues and finding different people that are able to support. And so like you were saying, with that work, we're able to create something like this.
Yeah, and this is definitely a nice space. You guys should walk by and check it out. Right now, there's no farming, but just come and look at it. It's a nice view over here at Lynn Tech. Now, for anyone that wants to help out with the food project, that wants to be involved with the food project, please let them know where they could go, what they can do.
Please check us out online. You can go to thefoodproject.org. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The only thing I want to say about Instagram is you have to go at _food_project_. Yep. So there's some complications with that, but yes, we are definitely online. And then we also have our office, and because of COVID, not all of us are always there, but when COVID is gone, people drop by the office all the time on Monroe Street.
All right, definitely. Well, Anika, once again, thank you for coming on. This is our second interview this year. The second time. This first time was Zoom. Now we're face to face, but we got our masks on. We got our masks on, and we are social distance. So we practicing safety over here. Everybody else should do the same, so they could get their kids here in the springtime and the summertime to work on the farms. Wear your masks. Any last words before we get out of here?
Wear your masks, and thank you very much.
All right, you guys been watching the Lynn Lowdown. I'm your host, Makala Kabongo, Anika Whitmore of the Food Project. We're out of here. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.